x, root x square, maximum of x comma minus x, modulus of x. All these three definitions are equal and they are equals to x if x greater than 0, 0 if x is equals to 0, minus x if x less than 0. Okay. So modulus x. What is the work of this modulus? You just treat this modulus as a mission. See, okay, x greater than 0. That in the sense, if your input is greater than 0 for the modulus, then your output is plus of that input. Okay. See, this modulus function multiplies a plus sign to the input if your input is positive. So, if your input is positive, it multiplies with a plus sign, plus of greater than 0. See, this plus of greater than 0 is again positive. Whereas, if your input is negative, this modulus mission, modulus function multiplies that negative input with a negative sign. Positive input with a positive sign. Negative input with a negative sign. So if you give a number like minus 3, it is a negative input. It multiplies that negative input minus 3 with minus sign. Then it becomes minus of minus 3. So it is 3. So again it is a positive. Ultimately, if your input is either positive or negative, the ultimate output is positive. But what is the mechanism, what is the work happened in the modulus function means, if your input is positive, it multiplies with plus sign. If your input is negative, it multiplies with a minus sign. So I mentioned you here some examples. If your input is minus 3, negative, multiply with a negative sign, answer is 3. If your input is 29, think about 29. That 29 is positive, so you need to multiply with plus sign, output is 29. If your input is 0, the result is directly 0. Whereas if your input is x, we don't know whether it is positive or negative. If it is positive, multiply with plus sign, your answer is x. If this is negative, you need to multiply with minus sign, your answer is minus x. And that's why for modulus of x we have two options. We don't know what it is exactly. Okay, think that. Okay, see, be careful here. X, we don't know whether it is positive or negative. Minus x is also we don't know which either it is positive or negative. It completely depends on x. Okay, and again, see, this modulus of x is again equals to maximum of x comma minus x also. For suppose if you take a number 3 in the place of x, maximum of 3 comma minus 3 is 3 itself, right? Whereas if you take minus 3 in the place of x, maximum of minus 3 comma 3, again 3 only. That in the sense for this maximum function also, if you give any number to the x, it gives you the absolute value, again the same positive quantity. Okay, and root x square is again equals to modulus of x. Okay, at this situation, I need to clarify one more thing. Okay, root x square is modulus of x. Okay, for suppose if you have, see, root x square is modulus of x. Okay, use this always, right? For suppose if you have root of minus 3 square, root of minus 3 square is equals to, see, don't cancel out the square root and square. Okay, see, the square root and square will make this root of minus 3 whole square as modulus of minus 3, and at the end your answer is 3. If you just cancel this 2 and square, automatically you will get minus 3, but minus 3 is not an exact answer. The correct answer is 3. Okay, whereas if you have a number like this, root of some 17 square, so again this square and square root just don't cancel. Root of 17 square is modulus of 17 and your answer is 17. Okay, for suppose I have like this, root of x minus 3 whole square. Root of x minus 3 whole square is equals to x minus 3 is not an exact way, is not the correct way. So root of x minus 3 whole square is modulus of x minus 3. And that modulus of x minus 3 again may be x minus 3 or minus of x minus 3. It depends on x and it depends on the expression which is there in the modulus. Okay, this is something about the modulus function. Just have a look. So some simple equalities and inequalities which involved with modulus. Modulus of x is equals to 4. See, modulus of x is equals to 4, then what you say about the value of x? Since modulus of x is equals to 4, the x value may be 4 or minus 4. Okay? Why? Because we know modulus of 4 is 4 as well as modulus of minus 4 is also 4. As I mentioned you, what modulus will do? Modulus will multiply plus sign with plus and minus sign with minus. So 4 is plus 4, answer is 4. Minus 4 is minus of minus 4, again plus 4 only. So modulus of x is equals to 4 implies x is equals to 4 or minus 4. And the second problem, modulus of x minus 2 is 0. See, modulus value is 0 only if the expression in the modulus is 0. So this expression is 0 whenever x is equals to 2. So the only solution for the second equation is x is equals to 2. Whereas the third equation, modulus of x plus 3 is minus 1. Okay, what to say about it? Modulus of x plus 3, when you think, always this modulus of x plus 3 is a positive quantity. But here minus 1 is given, which is a negative quantity. So positive is equals to negative won't happen, and that's why in the last case no solution. Okay, we don't have any value, we don't have no value of x. Okay, so no value of x is satisfying this equation. So modulus of x is equals to 4. X values are 4 or minus 4. Modulus of x minus 2 is 0. X value is 2. And modulus of x plus 3 is minus 1. So this is positive and this is negative. Positive is equals to negative is exactly not happen. Okay, and that's why no solution for this case. These are the basic inequalities. Then you need to think about the cases modulus of x less than 4, whereas modulus of x greater than 3. Okay, I am erasing this for the space. Right, you just think about it. Modulus of x is less than 4. See, the values of x which you replace from real numbers such that modulus of x is less than 4. See, modulus of x less than 4 will give you the values of x which are in between minus 4 and 4. Just have a look. Okay, if x values are in between minus 4 and 4, all those values satisfy this mod x less than 4. Okay, take minus 3. Modulus of minus 3 is 3, which is less than 4. Take 3. Modulus of 3 is 3, less than 4. But if you take 5, it won't satisfy. If you take 3.9, okay, satisfies. If you take 4.9, not okay. It won't satisfy. And that's why for the inequality modulus of x less than 4, the possible solutions of x are which are in between minus 4 and 4. Okay. Whereas for modulus of x greater than 3, see, look there. In the first problem it is less than a number and here greater than a number. Whereas in this case modulus of x greater than 3 means x less than minus 3 or x greater than 3 is the solution. Okay, you need to memorize these two as a formula. Okay, here in particular I mentioned you 4 and 3, but in generally you need to memorize them like a. If modulus of x is less than a, minus a less than x less than a. If modulus of x is greater than a, then either x less than minus a or x greater than a will happen. So these are two basic inequalities, and then we need to solve these questions. Okay, first of all, see, once again look about these things. Okay, and the next case, modulus of x is less than minus 4 and modulus of x is greater than minus 3. Just have a look. Modulus of x is less than minus 4. See, as I mentioned you, modulus of x is a positive quantity. Positive quantity is less than a negative quantity. Okay, see, positive quantity less than negative quantity is always a contradiction, right? And that's why this equation modulus of x less than minus 4 again has no solution. But whereas this particular equation modulus of x is greater than minus 3, the same logic, modulus of x is a positive quantity greater than a negative quantity. Positive quantity greater than negative quantity always happens, and in this case the solutions are all real numbers. You just take any real number in the place of x, all those numbers will satisfy this equation. Okay, when coming to the modulus inequalities, modulus of x is less than a particular number, you need to think about that number. If that number is positive, then you may face these two situations. If that number is negative, then you will face any one of these two situations. That's it. Okay, so before writing the solution part, you need to think about that number, right? If that is negative, so one case no solution, other case all solutions. Whereas if that number is positive, if it is less than, you need to consider in this format minus 4 less than x less than 4. And if it is greater than 3, you need to consider that x is less than minus 3 or x greater than 3. Okay, just have a look. Just I am explaining with few examples. Okay, but you need to generalize them in terms of A and in terms of general forms. Okay, have a look. So some useful laws related to the modulus. Okay, modulus is always either positive or 0, so mod x is greater than or equals to 0 for all x, and then mod x square is equals to mod x square is equals to x square. This is true not only for number 2, this is true for all the even numbers. Okay, mod x power 4 is equals to mod x power 4 is equals to x power 4, but for odd powers it may not happen. Okay, right. So then modulus of x into y is mod x into mod y, modulus of x by y is mod x by mod y. Okay, see, modulus of the product, modulus of the division is just simply nothing but product of the moduli or product division of the modulus, right? But whereas for the addition and subtraction, direct splitting is not possible, and that's why we frame a law we call usually it as the triangle of modulus. According to the triangle of modulus, if you take three modulus, mod x, mod y, mod x plus y, this mod x plus y value, okay, is in between the difference of these two as well as sum of these two. Not only the mod x plus y but also mod x minus y. See, mod x plus y value as well as mod x minus y value always lies in between the difference of these two modulus to the sum of those two moduli, and this is specifically mentioned as triangle equality, and it helps you in some situations to solve. Okay, this is something about the modulus. Just have a look, and then in 37 I am going to discuss about the step function, greatest integer function along with the fractional function. Have a look. If you have any doubts, raise your hands. So greatest integer function or step function, which is denoted by that square bracket of x, fractional part of x is denoted by this flower bracket of x. Okay, see what is that greatest integer function and what is that fractional part of x. I will start my discussion with an example. For suppose if I have a number like 7.803, okay, see I will write this 7.803 as 7 plus 0.803. See, this 7 is an integer and 0.803 is the decimal part or the fractional part. Okay, this 7 is the integral part. This 7 is the integral part, and this part is denoted by step of 7.803. Whereas this 0.803 is the decimal part or fractional part. Decimal part or fractional part, and which is denoted by 7.803. So this is general example. With that idea, for suppose if we have a number x, this x can be expressed as step x plus fractional part of x. And among these step x and fractional part of x, this step x is an integer, whereas this fractional part of x is always lies in between 0 and 1. Okay, you need to note that the fractional part value is always in between 0 and 1, and that's why, as we discussed, the range of this fractional part of x is in between 0 and 1, whereas the range of step x is always all real values. Okay, see, right, the step x value just is an integer and the fractional part of x value is in between 0 and 1. So for this particular number 7.803, when you express it like 7 plus 0.803, this 7 is the integral part denoted by the square bracket of 7.803. Whereas this 0.803 is the decimal part or the fractional part, and it is denoted by the flower bracket of 7.803. Okay, let us discuss some more ideas, some more things, how to calculate the step x and then fractional part of x for some numbers. Okay, right. For suppose if I have a number like this, yeah, x is equals to some 17.6 is a number. This x is equals to 17.6 can be written as 17 plus 0.6. Just think about it, this 17 is the integral part of x, or you may say step x, or you may say greatest integer function of x, whereas this 0.6 is simply nothing but fractional part of x. Why? Because this 0.x is in between 0 and 1, and right, and that's why we call it as decimal part. Whereas for suppose if we have a number like x is equals to minus 7.3, x is equals to minus 7.3. Minus 7.3 is simply nothing but minus 7 minus 0.3. Okay, but some people may consider minus 7 as the integral part and this 0.3 as the decimal part. It's a wrong idea. Why? Because the decimal part, the flower bracket of x, always in between 0 and 1. So minus 0.3 is not in between 0 and 1. So you need to rewrite it. Okay. So instead of writing minus 7 minus 0.3, you just rewrite this minus 7.3 as minus 8 plus 0.7. See, now this minus 8 is an integer, as well as this 0.7 is a number which is in the region 0 to 1. And that's why, see, you need to rewrite x as minus 8 plus 0.7. Okay, just have a look. And at the end we need to conclude that step x for this number is 8, whereas fractional part of x for this number is 0.7. So a very simple idea. To write the step x or the fractional part of x, first of all you just rewrite the given number as an integral part plus decimal part. This automatically simplifies your work. Okay, have a look. So some simple properties related to the step x and fractional part of x. If x is an integer, see, we need the step x is simply nothing but integral part of x only. Since x itself is an integer, step x is directly x only. Okay, and what you say about the fractional part of x? Here step x is directly x, then fractional part of x. Take any integer, integer has no decimal part, right? For example, 3 is an integer, no decimal part. Minus 12 is an integer, no decimal part. And that's why for all integers x, the decimal part, the fraction part value is 0. Whereas if x is not an integer, then x may be in any x, since x is not an integer, x lies in between any two integers. From there we will find that step x as well as fractional part of x. In that case we have one particular rule that x is equals to step x plus fractional part of x. If x is not an integer, for in this case also it happens actually. Okay, but if x is not an integer, directly deciding that step x and fractional part x is not possible. So just use that rule that x is equals to step x plus fractional part of x. And the next thing, step of step x. See, you just think about it. Once if you apply step x for the inner step x, the value is an integer. And then if you apply step for integers, the value is that number itself. Okay. So step of step x is simply nothing but step x only. Next one, step of fractional part of x. Okay. See, step of fractional part of x. What you say? This is fractional part of x. Fractional part of x is always in between 0 and 1. Since fractional part of x is always in between 0 and 1, it is 0 point something. For all the numbers which are in between 0 and 1, the step value is directly 0. Whereas in this case, fractional part of step x, as we discussed, step x is always an integer and we are applying fractional part for that integer. Its value is 0. And then step fractional part of x. See, for fractional part of x, if you say you will get that fractional part of x as 0.7, its fractional part is again 0.7. So the answer is again fractional part of x. Just have a look. All these conclusions just we make by observing some examples. By thinking some examples, we decided we are going to decide these laws of step function and fractional part of x. Have a look. So next idea related to this step x. For suppose x is a number which is in between 7 and 8. For example, if x is a number between 7 and 8, x is equals to 7 point something. Since x is equal to 7 point something, step x is equals to 7. And this 7 can be viewed as greatest integer among all integers which are less than x. Is it right or wrong? Greatest integer among all integers which are less than x. We need to search for that. See, x is here. See, the integers which are less than x. Integers which are less than x means there are many integers, and if you start like this, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, like that, 7. See, this is the list of all integers which are less than x, and in that list, this 7 is the greatest number. Since 7 is the greatest number among all the integers which are less than x, and that's why this 7 is also known as greatest integer function, and that's why this step x is also known as greatest integer function. Okay, see, if x is in between 7 and 8, directly we say that step x is 7, but why we are calling it as greatest integer function? Just because, see, that 7 is the greatest integer among all the integers which are less than x, and that's why we call like that. Okay, right. So step x is equals to 7, and this is 7, right? So if you generalize it, if x is a number which is in between n and n plus 1, if x is a number which is in between the consecutive integers n and n plus 1, step x is equals to clearly n. Okay, so this is the basic definition, and from this we may conclude that, see, step x is equals to n. X is a number which is in between n and n plus 1. In that case, step x is n. When you replace n with step x now, you have an inequality. Step x is less than or equals to x less than step x plus 1. A direct inequality from the definition of step. And when you rearrange, you also get one more idea. See, just look there. X less than step x plus 1. From there it is very clear that x minus 1 is less than step x. What you say? Since x less than step x plus 1, send that 1 this side, x minus 1 less than step x. So x minus 1 less than step x, and here step x is less than or equals to x. When you combine these two, okay, this x minus 1 less than step x as well as step x less than or equals to x, we have one more idea, x minus 1 less than step x less than or equals to x. So this is one inequality as well as this is another inequality. Both these inequalities are dependent on this fundamental definition, and this definition you will get a clear idea when you think about this example. Okay, just have a look. That's about step x and fractional part of x.